Kia hapai ngā kupu tuatai ki te tāhuhu matapau. Kia hora tamarino. Kia whakapapa pauna mu te moana kia tere taka rohi rohi. I runga i te ira tangata e takahi te nuku o te whenua. Kia tau mai ngā manakitanga o te kaihanga i runga i te iti me te rahi. Kia tau mai ngā manakitanga ki runga i te kīgi. E popuru ana ngā tongi kura hei tui tui, hei whakakotahi, ngā waka, te motu o Aotearoa. I runga i te reo karanga, e tautoko ngā mihi ki te hunga ko whetiu rangitia ko huri hia hei karu pi i atata mō matariki. Te au te reina, te urunga te taka, te moenga te whakarahia. Moi mai, moi mai, moi mai i roti i te ariki. Koutou i hara mai, tenei te marae o te kōpū mānia o Kirikiriroa, e mihi nei ki o koutou. Tenei ngā mātā waka o te haukainga o Kirikiriroa, e mihi nei ki o koutou. Anei te whare o te tumuaki, e mihi nei ki o koutou. Hara mai, hara mai, hara mai e te manu kāhui hou, mo tenei wāhanga o te pōtitanga, tēnei te mihi atu kia koe e pōra. Me tō rōpū hou, hei arahi tō tātou taone, tuarua hei tauira mō Aotearoa whānui. Hei pupuru i ngā kōrero i Waihotia, e te tūpana o Kingi Tuheitia. Kia mau ki te ture, kia mau ki te whakapono, kia mau ki te aroha. Mau e whakaro hea te tikanga o e rāko. E iti ngā kupu, engari e hohonu ana ngā whakaro kei roto. Nō reira tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou katoa. Ngā whānau hoki i hara mai ki te tautoko i o koutou nei mema. Tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou. E tēnei te mihi aroha kia koutou i hara mai. E te mihi hoki, e hake mā nā te tangata e hikoe hoki, e tāia te kite. Ngari ko te hāpori o Kirikiriroa hoki, nā tangata haua kāre tāia te hikoi, kāre tāia te kite, engari he tangata i roto i tō tātou tāo o Kirikiriroa. Tēnei te mihi atu o mātou katoa, ki ta hunga katoa, e noho ana i roto i tēnei rohe, e noho ana i waho i tēnei rohe. Tēnei mātou o te kuratini, e mihi nei ki a koutou, anei te marae, e mihi ana ki a koutou. A whenua e mihi ana ki a koutou. Nō reira me mutu taku kōrero i reira, ngā mema o te whare miere kei konei, e noho ana kei muri nei tēnei te mihi atu mai ngā kai hoe o te pukinga ki roto o Waikato, ara e mihi nei ki a koutou hoki. Good morning everyone, I just want to extend a warm welcome to you today on this very special occasion. I won't translate everything I've said. Part of your learning as culture is to learn what does that language mean. And you always start with the foundation, which is our language, because in that language is the history of this town built here, and later on you'll hear more about that as you get into your training and understanding. If you don't know that, you won't know the language of the animals. So when I go down into the field, I know the language of the different birds. I know the language of what the sun is telling me. I know what the wind is telling me. You cannot have a policy that'll stop that. If it wants to rain today, it'll rain today. Because the language of earth will teach you that. It'll teach you, no, I have more power than you. Because they are our tuakana, we are the tamer. Understand that. If you know that, then you will learn a lot when you teach children about Mother Earth. Former councillors sitting in the back, my aroha goes to you too. I've learned a lot over the years that have been, first time we've come out of the chambers to have this ceremony outside of the chambers. It is my aroha to you all for agreeing to come out onto your mother, our mother, as our beautiful place here in Kirikiriroa, the fertile lands of Kirikiriroa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. I greet you once, twice, 3 times. Tēnā koutou. katohea he waima, katohea he waima, ka he keki te pū a hauai, to he pua he piko he taliwha, he piko he i atu patora kei tahuri koe i ngā kaha, koe kato whakamau, to titiro ki ka whetira, o tau pere te maunga o te tau, mauri o te moti ki ngā roa he atu ranga wai wai mō te kingita, te tongi whakamutu ngā matu taera aue, o ki aue. E te tongi whakamutu ngā aue, o ki aue. That lament is deep. It carries a lot of narratives and history inside that song. That's another one and another day. I'm not going to distract you teaching you about that. We'll leave that for another day of learning. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Lance.
Kia ora koutou katoa, he tumu whakarai ahau, ko Lance Vervoort toka wingwa. Atamaria everyone, I'm Lance Vervoort and it's my privilege as the Chief Executive of Hamilton City Council to open the ceremony and to welcome you all to this inaugural council meeting of the 2022-2025 term of council. And probably importantly, what you're all here for is the swearing in of our new elected members. I'd like to firstly say a warm welcome, Tame, I want to echo your welcome. I want to also acknowledge our kaumātua over here, our tangata whenua, and I think this is an auspicious day where we have two new Māori representatives on council, and I think this is a very fitting place to have the ceremony. So I just want to acknowledge you, and also our two new Māori representatives who we'll hear from a bit later on. This is an exciting day for Kirikiriroa, for Council, and I hope you all enjoy what we will witness today. A warm welcome to elected members and also to their families and friends. Obviously a great gathering here today, and it is an auspicious occasion, as I said before. It is a great time for, especially if you're a newer elected member coming into this, if this is your first ceremony, and I know there's some here who have actually been through this before, and it's probably just as important to them today as it was during their first term. And I know you've actually said that to me, and so has Angela. So I just wanted to acknowledge all of you and your families, and I hope you have a wonderful day on this special occasion. Our ceremony is all about really the installation of our mayor and our 14 councillors. We used to have 12 councillors, so obviously we've had a bit of an increase. I think that probably reflects how Kirikiriroa is going as well, the growth in the city, the growth in our people, and the prosperity of the whole area, which has actually been buffered through COVID. I think we've done pretty well as a community, and I think that will continue as well. So what's going to happen today? Firstly, we're going to swear in Mayor Paula. So she's first up. She'll be taking the oath. She'll be signing her declaration. My big job is to make sure she gets that right and signs in the right place. I normally do it electronically, signatures being CE and that sort of thing. So I think the governance staff will keep me honest today on that. But then we'll actually ask each elected member to come forward individually to read their oath, to sign their declaration. Paula will actually then, I'll hand over to her, she'll be witnessing their declarations, and then they'll say a few words. I'd just like to remind elected members that we are under standing orders today, so that's 3 minutes, and I know Martin Gallagher was telling me maybe we could extend it to 5 minutes. So once we've done that, all the elected members are sworn in. We're going to stand and sing the national anthem, and that's going to be led by Landy Nonoa. Our kaumātua Tame will close the ceremony with a karakia, And on completion of the ceremony, we will be able to go over to the Bill Gallagher room and actually have some refreshments over there and have a bit of kōrero between ourselves. At about 2 o'clock, then probably the drier part of the day happens for the elected members. They have to go back over to the council chamber. Hopefully the water blasting's finished by then, the noise. And the meeting will reconvene in the council chambers to complete some initial matters of business which we have to do under the Local Government Act. But on behalf of my exec team who's here today in the second row, and also all the staff of Hamilton City Council, I'd like to say a big congratulations to all our elected members. I know it's been, it's tough on the campaign trail, and also I'd like to say a big warm welcome to you. We really look forward to working with you over the next 3 years. And I think we've talked about that word team, and I really look forward to that as we move forward to make our city a fantastic place. Now, I'd like to invite Mayor-elect Paula Southgate to come forward to be installed as the Mayor of Hamilton City Council.
I, Paula Southgate, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Ka au a Paula Southgate ko taku kupu tēnei. Ka tūtiki i ahau ki taku e pōnei nā kāwena katoa. He painga mō te taone o Kirikiri Roa. I runga i te mana kua riru mai i ahau. He mema o te kaunihira o Kirikiri Roa. I raro i te turi kāwanatanga arohe. Rua manu mā rua, te turi paurongo, huia oku kāwanatanga arohe. Ko tahi manu iwu rau, waru te kau mā whitu, me e tahi atu ture rānei. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi, raurangatira mā, tēnā koutou katoa. Ki runga i tēnei rā whakanui. Me whakaono rei ki te kingi tu heitie potata te wherewhero, te tuawhitu, me te whare ariki tonu pai Māori rei. E te ti, e te tā, tēnei te mihi mahana ki a koutou katoa. Good morning and welcome to our guests and to the newly elected councillors, their friends and their family. It is a huge honour and a privilege to stand here before you once more as elected as Mayor of Hamilton. It's a responsibility and it's an honour that I do not take lightly, and it's one that I take on with great pride and commitment. I am sure that all elected members feel the same way and share with me the desire to serve Hamilton well and a passion to make our city a better place. Colleagues, today is a day that will be written into history, the history of all of our lives, but also the civic history of this city. It is significant, and today we celebrate and acknowledge 2 Māori seats. I'm grateful and excited about the opportunity to work with you as a strong and professional team. We have a lot to do, challenges to tackle, opportunities to embrace. Today I reflect on the mayors that have come before me, who all have worn these chains before me, who have contributed to the development of Hamilton, Kirikiri Roa, who have served the citizens of the city we all hold dear. I am grateful. I am grateful for democracy in New Zealand, although I think we'd acknowledge it is not perfect. But that democracy has set this opportunity at my feet. I'm grateful to be one of the 3 women mayors for Hamilton City. I'm also grateful to be part of a growing number of women in politics and women mayors right across Aotearoa. It saddens me, I was reminded recently in watching the news that democracy and these opportunities that we have, are not readily available to our sisters across the globe. That does make me sad, but it steels my resolve to be the best leader that I can be and to be part of the change that I want to see. Over 21 years in politics, I have worked with so many good people, men and women. I have learnt every step of the way of each one of those. What works, what doesn't work, what matters really to me and what matters to the wider community. Today, I didn't do this last time, but today I just want to acknowledge one really special, beautiful man who I credit with my success in getting into local government. Story you can resonate with, Sarah, I believe. It isn't my best friend and best supporter, my husband. Sorry about that, but I'll get to you later. It is a man few here may remember. You may or may not have known him. But he is genuinely the reason I stand here today. Barry O'Connor, who was a regional councillor, a friend, and once the chief executive of the airport company, a beautiful man. He was the first man who told me in my political career, you will one day be chair of the regional council. You are a leader of the community. Mark my words. Sadly, he passed, and he told everyone else in the community as well. This woman, watch this woman go. She hasn't finished yet, he said. Sadly, he passed away from cancer before he could see me sworn in as the regional chair. But he was in spirit with me on that day, and I could hear him saying, see, I told you. And today I can feel him here with me, smugly nodding and saying, I knew it. I'm grateful, you know how much that means, right? Terrible empath I am too, by the way. I'm grateful because he planted the seed and he watered it, and all of you on the way who've supported me have helped grow that seed. I'm actually grateful to everyone who has faith in me to do the job, whether it was through a vote, encouragement, or in somehow sharing the load, and they've helped me on the journey. My amazing family and dear friends who love me, but goodness me, they hate campaigns. Do they hate campaigns? Actually, I think we all hate campaigns, let's be real. Thank you, however, for your unswerving and unconditional love and support over 21 years in politics. Greg, now it is your turn. My number one sign, put her upper. My number one sign, take a downer. My number one pamphlet delivery man. My go-to, the person at my sounding board every evening when I have 100 moans. And thank you even for your one dish wonder dinners that sat in the microwave waiting for me when I came home late, which is quite often. With good people working to support each other, really, that's how good things happen. Good people working together, good things happen. And that is why I know that with the good staff that we have, and we do have good staff, I'm grateful for them, and a good team of colleagues sitting before me today, good things will happen, and we will get through the rough and the tough patches, but good things will happen for Hamilton City. I ask that on that journey, we battle the issues in our debate with fiercely and with passion, that's fine. But please, may we respect each other, no matter how diverse our views are. So again, I'm grateful and humbled to be the Mayor of Hamilton City. My pledge to you today is to work hard, to listen hard, and to be a relentlessly positive ambassador for Hamilton and Hamiltonians to the best of my ability. And probably I can't promise that I won't cry occasionally, I'll just let you know. Hei whakatauki that I think is relevant for today. Ko tahi te koha o te nira e kuhuna ai, te miro maa, te miro pango, me te miro whero. There is but one eye of the needle through which the white, the black and the red thread must pass. Together in that way we will prevail and build a beautiful city. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Sorry, haven't finished. It is now my privilege and pleasure to acknowledge the other councillors who were elected and call them to take their declaration. And my great pleasure to call up first the person who I have appointed to be Deputy Mayor of Hamilton City this term, Angela O'Leary.
Just this side. I, Angela O'Leary, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other act. Ooh. There you go.
It's a sign she's a free spirit.
John, can I say some few words? So I normally just speak from the heart about these things, but since Mayor Paula offered me the job of Deputy Mayor, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. every morning since. So this morning at 3 a.m. I had some words and thoughts in my head, so I wrote them down. So I will read my thoughts from 3 a.m. this morning. My message is I want to remind us and the new elected members why we're here and how we got here. Mayor Paula has plotted the course for us in her leadership and her challenge to be a positive and collaborative team. And I know we are excited and up for the challenge. It is going to be an exciting term with some historical events that we will be really blessed to be part of. The Rotatuna Library and Community Hub will open this term. The long-awaited Regional Theatre will open this term. And what will be the pinnacle for me and many thousands of Hamiltonians will be the opening of the Peacock Bridge. And sorry, Kesh, Chair of Community, who believes her portfolio is the most exciting, it doesn't draw a string to infrastructure. Being positive doesn't mean, as Mayor Paula has said, that we won't have robust debate and tough discussions and hard decisions in front of us. And as well as those highlights, the decisions ahead of us will mark my term be some of the greatest that we will make as our city grows and as we face unprecedented reform from government. But in those robust debates and difficult decisions, we will bring naturally our own biases, we will bring our skills and our life experience, and that's all okay. But the most significant thing that we bring to the table, and the reason why we're all standing here today, are the wishes and the votes and the well-being and the trust that our community has put into us. Those are the people we represent when we enter the chamber. We don't represent ourselves. It's this community that have put their faith in us to work positively together as a team for the very best outcomes that we are capable for the city that we all love. So to finish up, I want to say to my incumbent colleagues, Congratulations. I'm very proud of all of us in the campaign that we ran. It was probably for a councillor the most fun campaign, I think, and certainly the most collegial. And I welcome the newly elected members as well. Bear in mind that this role that you hold, very, very few people around the world actually have the privilege to hold it. Thank you always to my mum. I don't know where you are. Oh, there we go. And to my friends who go through this, just like Mayor Paula has said, we play the what if game. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this person gets in? What if that person gets in? And it's a game that we play even on election day, and it was a really fun day. And finally, thank you to Mayor Paula. First of all, for last term giving me the first best job I didn't know that I wanted, and for letting me continue this term with that portfolio that I have grown to love. But more importantly, for giving me the second best job I did know I wanted, and trusting me with the role of Deputy Mayor. Now, she's in no doubt how excited I am about it, because every time we're together I tell her. And I look forward to supporting Mayor Paula in your leadership over the next 3 years, and then the next 3 years, and then the next 3 years, until we can retire together. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for those beautiful words. I'd like to call Ryan forward, who is the third leg of our senior leadership team at Council.
Good morning. I, Ryan Hamilton, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. I feel like now I need a ring. So I do. Thank you, everyone. It's a real privilege to be here today. I tend to speak with brevity, and I'll try and keep that happening today. There's just 3 things I want to touch on this morning. Just acknowledge the Kamatuas and Mana Whenua here, and for your mihi tame also. I really appreciate that this morning. The 3 things I want to touch on quickly today are partners, values, and honour. And all of us elected members will touch on those nearest and dearest that have helped us over the campaign, our partners, spouses, children, friends, staff, people you can bribe, just about anyone. Big shout out, of course, to my wife, Marie, who's done this many times with me, and is often a foil when you have these. Sometimes you can have an 8-hour meeting, but it takes 16 hours to decompress, and lots of Pinot Gris or Pinot Noir and things as well. To my children here today, thanks for your support, Diesel and Nika, and thanks for coming, Beckham. I've got another daughter who helped me with, she's been battling a lot of social anxiety and a lot of challenges in the last 12 months, but she was out there on the road, so it's really special. But I just want to toast. We're politicians, so we make things up as well, so I just want you to pretend you've got a fake glass. We're going to lift it, and a toast to all the supporters. Supporters. That was really sad. We're going to say, the word is supporters, all right? We'll try it again. Supporters, yay, that's for you, okay? Look, just moving on to values. When you enter the council chamber, there's a lot of, what's the word for it, sort of heritage and, uniqueness about it. And on the doors, when you walk in, it says, enter with fidelity, assiduity and selflessness. And I didn't know what that meant. Fidelity, I think that means when you're loyal to your partner. And I was like, okay, I kind of know what that means. What's assiduity? I had to Google it. But fidelity can mean faithfulness to a person, but also singleness of purpose. Assiduity can mean constant or close attention and selflessness. And then leave with humility, dignity, and faithfulness. And those are good values, I guess, but it's really important that values resonate. And I got a sneak peek of our CE Lance's values recently, and I got his permission. I don't want to steal his thunder, but they're really special values. And although we don't discard those values, we take those now as a foundation. We get to build on these new foundations. And Lance and the team came up with 5. The first one was inclusiveness, or kotahitanga. And we also hear that term with, it can mean unity, collaboration. And I think that's really important. And Mayor Paula touched on that as a team. We can have differences of opinion, but we can be united in our values for what's better for our communities. Guardianship, kaitiakitanga, which we also hear around stewardship. We're all stewards on this earth. We're here to do a mission, but to leave the place better than we left it. And that's really important. And the next 3 are really, really awesome as well. Kia uruto, which means adaptability. And we've had to be more so adaptable in the last 3 months with COVID, and develop new normals. And I think that's a really key one. Simplicity, kia ngāwari, and I love that. Anytime I can get a report from anyone on council, I always try and see if we can get it on one page. Boil it down, keep it simple. What's the outcome? What's the purpose? Can you say what you want to say in 30 seconds? Do you really need to talk for 3 minutes? No offense, Martin, you're a legend. And finally, ambition, or kia manawa nui. And I think that's awesome. It's not just about values of virtue, but it's about progression and about desire to make the city better, to connect, to be a powerhouse in the centre of the North Island where it all happens. So those are really, really exciting. And finally, the last one that I want to leave you with is one that I try and take into the chamber with me, and I try and share with my colleagues, and that is one of honour. To honour each other, even though we might disagree, to honour where that person is coming from. And I think if we have that spirit, we're going to be in good stead. And Ralph Waldo Emerson is a famous essayist and philosopher of about 100 years ago, and he said, "In my walks, every person I meet is my superior in some way, in that I learn of them." And I think if we have that attitude, we can learn from each other, we can learn from our staff, and we can learn from our community, and we'll be in a very good place. Thank you.
I would now like to invite up newly elected Councillor Andrew Bidder.
I, Andrew Bidder, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Years ago, my grandmother became the first woman councillor of the Takaka Borough in Golden Bay, a role she held for 20 years until it was amalgamated into the Tasman District Council, so she was also the only woman to do it. My dad pulled a prank, as all good teenagers should, and drove past the council chambers during the monthly meeting, with long steel chains dragging behind the car. It was an awful racket. The councillors all dashed out of the building to see what terrible apocalypse was engulfing the town, but by then the car had already disappeared, leaving them none the wiser. When it happened again at the next council meeting, the mayor spotted a pattern. He made inquiries amongst the youth, and the word on the street implicated my dad. Relishing in the opportunity to embarrass Mrs. Bidder, possibly even into resigning, at the next meeting he gathered the councillors in hiding around the corner. When the expected racket occurred, they all rushed out to catch the culprit red-handed. Unbeknownst to the mayor, my dad had given the honour of driving that day to a friend, and the mayor found himself confronting his own son behind the wheel. I have no idea what the moral of that story is, only that I have two great family traditions to live up to.
It's now my pleasure and privilege to invite up Anna Mary Cox.
Ko au Anna Casey Cox, ko taku kupu tēnei, ka tūtuki ia hau, ke taku I pono nei, nā kiwana katoa hei painga mō te taone o kirikiri roa, I runga I te mana kua riro mai hau, hei mema o te kaunahira o kirikiri roa, I raro I te turi kawanatanga a rohe, rua manu mā rua, te turi pārongo, hui nā o kawa, kawanatanga a rohe, ko tahi mano iwa rau, waru tekau mawhitu, me etahi atu turi rānei. Tēnā koutou katoa. E mihi ana ki te kingi a Tuheitia, me te kauhui ariki, pai mārire ki a rātou, pai mārire ki a tātou. E mihi ana ki ngā tangata whenua o te rohi nei, tēnā koutou. E mihi ana ki te marae e hora nei, te kopu mania, me te whare e tū nei, ko te kā kano a te kahu tēnā korua. E mihi ana ki a koutou kua taimai ki te tautoko e te kaupapa e te rangi nei, o te rā ki te hunga kua kaha tautoko I a hau e runga I tēnei haerenga, ko tuku whānau, tuku māma, tuku ho tānei a Tim, me aku hoa, wai hoki ki a koe matua pene, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou. Ki te kōtahi te kākaho, ka whati, ki te kāpuia e kore e whati. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora everybody, and just to translate a little bit of that into English, I wanted to acknowledge Kingi Tuheitia and the royal family, the home people of this area and the marae of Te Kupu Mania, as well as the whare Te Kākono a Te Kahu. And I acknowledge all of you who have come here to support our event today and all the people who have strongly supported me on this journey. I finished my mihi, I'm going to beat you, Ryan, for shortness, just saying. I finished my mihi today with a whakatoki. If a reed stands alone, it can be broken. If it's in a group, it cannot. And this proverb speaks of the strength of unity. It was said by Kingi Tāwhio, the second Māori king, in relation to keeping the people of the Waikato together and strong. And my hope and vision relates to unity, to standing together, to working together. And it's an honour to be in this role, and it's an ongoing honour to work with and alongside the community. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
It's now my privilege and pleasure to invite up Councillor Mark Donovan, who, as you may recall, came in on a by-election, and so he hasn't been through this process quite the same way before. So.
Morning, everyone. I, Mark Donovan, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. I can't promise brevity. Sorry. I actually have a bit of a song by a guy called Shawn Mendes rolling around in my head, and it starts off with, I get a little bit nervous. If any of you haven't heard it, have a listen. It's a really cool song. Anyway, here goes. Her Worship, Mayor Paula, fellow Hamilton City Councillors, Council Chief Executive Officer Lance Vervoort, distinguished guests, family and friends. I'm honoured to be standing here today in front of you on this special occasion. As Paul had mentioned, last year was a bit special for me and I had to do it by Zoom, so this is such a much more welcome approach to doing this, so I appreciate the opportunity. I just want to say a big thank you and acknowledge the Hamilton East Ward people who continue to give me their support. I feel humbled by their well wishes and congratulatory messages I've received over the last week. It is an honour to represent the East Ward and the city as a whole. Thank you for putting your trust in me. Unlike you, Angela, at 3 o'clock this morning I wasn't thinking about what to say, I was thinking about scoring runs at cricket. But anyway, sorry, I just thought I'd chuck that in there. I'd like to also acknowledge Lance and the very capable senior leadership team as I've come to know them over the last year. Your commitment to delivering the vision for this city is admirable, and I, like many others, have a huge amount of respect for the hard work you do. Keep it up. To our hard-working but fun-loving, sometimes a little quirky governance team, no, there's one around there, there's a couple of you out there somewhere, led by the very talented Amy. You guys are amazing at what you do. I really appreciate all the effort you keep putting in. And yes, I will keep my word about coming up with chocolate names to describe you all. Thank you to my parents who have had a pretty significant impact in my life. I'm truly grateful for your love and support and for instilling in me the belief that with the right attitude and hard work, anything can be achieved. I really mean that. Thank you. Special thanks to my auntie Sandra. She's all the way here from Cairns in Australia. I know you didn't come out just especially for my swearing in ceremony, but the joy that you bring to the family is hard to explain, but you light up the room when you walk in, and to see my mum so happy to have her little sister here is just, it's truly amazing. So thank you for being able to be part of this day. To my beautiful children, Benjamin, which we normally only call him that when he's in trouble, and my daughter Kaylee. I can never say this enough, but you are a big part of my why, and you're the reason I do what I do. It is a privilege to be your father, and I hope that I can continue to make you proud of me. I love you both very much, and I love watching you achieve the things you choose to do as your life evolves. You both know I'm so proud of you, but you should be proud of yourself. I love you both more than you'll ever know. I'd also like to acknowledge Caroline. She was unable to make it today because she's not too well, but she was the first one who seeded the idea of Mark Donovan, Councillor for Hamilton East Ward. And I want to pay special tribute to my amazing friends who continue to be a vital part of my support network. Long black coffees, cups of tea at various cafes around the East Ward, sweet treats, jalapeno scones, and most of all, lending an ear to listen to my campaign pains has helped me significantly. I do hope that the chocolates I've given you all post-election therapy will help you with some of that post-election therapy. It is also very reassuring to know I have amazingly supportive and patient people around me. and I'm so very grateful to have all of them in my life. I count myself as the lucky one. Over the last 30 years, I've proudly watched and participated in seeing the city we love transform into a vibrant and bustling hub. Hamilton is on a growth trajectory. You only have to look around this magnificent river city to see all the planning and development starting to come to fruition. I'm looking forward to continuing to work together with my fellow councillors, new and experienced, to tackle the important issues so that we can make Hamilton a safe and prosperous city for all. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
It's now my great privilege to invite up Milena Atawhai Huaki as our first sworn-in Māori candidate.
E ngā mana, e ngā reo, tēnā koutou katoa. Mei kore ko koutou e kore ko ahau. Aku tamariki, taku whānau, te whānau whānui, aku tino hoa, taku kapa, ngā hononga katoa te motu nei, ki te mana whenua, ki tō tātou kiingi tū hei tia pō tatau te whero, te tuawhitu, tēnā koutou katoa. Ki te moimoia ahau ko au anake, ki te moimoia tātou kataia. Huri au ki inei tēnei kōrero, āhua he e tehi o ngā kupu engari, e hara au ko te mātanga reo, nō reira. Ko au a Milena Atawhai Huaki, ko aku kupu e nei. Ka tutuki ahau e pono nei ngā kawenga katoa hei painga mo te taone o Kirikiriroa, i runga i te mana kua riro mai i ahau, hei mema o te kaunihera o Kirikiriroa i raro i te ture kāwanatanga ārohe, rua mano mārua te ture pārongo, huinga o kawa kāwanatanga ārohe kotahi mano i warau waru te kaumā whitu me etihi atu ture rānei. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora mai tātou katoa.
It's now my pleasure and privilege to welcome up Louise Hutt.
That's a tough act to follow. I, Louise Ann Hutt, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. No England, Ireland, Wales, me Orkney Islands o Kutupuna, he tangata tiriti aho, ko kirikiriro toko kainga inaine, ko Louise Hart toko ingoa. I want to acknowledge Kingi Tuheitia and the mana whenua here with us today. I was actually told I was only allowed 1 minute, so I see that the role of inheriting Martin Gallagher's habits is already established. Any success of mine is the success of the community around me. And I have just spent the past 3 months talking about myself, so I would really love to talk about the community who got me here. I want to acknowledge Don Stewart, Angela Hodgkinson, Alistair Luke, and John Kroll, who were my teachers at high school 10 years ago and taught me that a kid from a tiny school on the Coromandel could really grow up to do anything. I want to acknowledge those who are no longer with us, and especially those who passed this year. My uncle, David Hodge, and my friend Lloyd Morris. I wish you could have both been here to see this, and I hope I live up to your memory and your aspirations for our city. I want to acknowledge my predecessors on the West, our very own Statler and Waldorf. That's from the Muppets, if you want to Google it later. Martin and Dave, thank you for all your work, past and present, and the work I know you'll continue to do as you say, ordinary citizens. I want to acknowledge my kakariki whānau, Alex Hope, Gail Blackwell, Daphne Bell, Sasha Coburn, and my many friends across the country. I want to acknowledge Marama Davidson and Materia Ture, who many years ago gave a struggling university student faith that some people in politics do care about those failed by our systems and our policies. I want to acknowledge my COVID-19 Directorate colleagues. This colour is what we call COVID vaccine purple. In particular, Gemma Morgan, whose leadership and support enabled me to heal wounds and not only survive a pandemic but contribute meaningfully to it. My cheerleaders and my best friends, Rachel Lynch, Chelsea Towers, Alex Higby and Nina Stewart. You keep me sane and well dressed. Thank you. The dream team who ensure I stay true to my values and consistently evolve my knowledge and understanding of the world. Ropata Moore, my friend and mentor in governance. Matthew Leach, who inspires me with his grace and perseverance. Daniel Marks, who is one of the hardest working people I know. And Joe Wrigley, who enables me to dream and imagine better, as well as the many volunteers and supporters who help me do so much more than I could have ever done alone. I want to thank my family, especially the strong women who have been role models to me as I navigate this world, and in particular my mother. Back in 2019, when I first told my mum that I had made a big life decision that I really hoped that she would understand and support me in, she asked if I was pregnant, and I said, no, I'm running for council. Thank you for accepting and loving me and my aspirations, even ones that involve you running around the city with a power drill attaching my name to people's fences. And finally, the love of my life, Brad Christensen. Your kindness and belief in me has not only saved my life, but enabled me to live a life full of joy and hope, and to be able to repay your love and generosity back into the world. What is mine is yours, which includes our mortgage and that time that we both got COVID, but it also includes my successes as well. I love you, Mr. Councillor Louise Hart. I love you, and thank you so much. Kia ora.
It's now my pleasure to call up Emma Jane Pike.
I, Emma Jane Pike, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authority and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. I've been told people can't really hear, so I'm going to try speak loud, and I apologise if I'm yelling at you, but yeah, hopefully you can all hear. So I got told about having a speech about 30 minutes ago, so please also forgive me for being a bit unprepared. I want to start by acknowledging Mana Whenua, and thank you again for the wonderful mihi and welcome today. I am really humbled to be standing here today, and it is my distinct honour to be elected as a councillor for Kirikiriroa Hamilton. I recognise I am standing here with many challenges ahead, and as we navigate forward, I promise to put the people of Hamilton at the heart of everything I do and work in a more inclusive manner to represent all of our communities. It's an honour being here today, and in some ways I feel I've come full circle as a previous student here at Wintec and Girls High across the road to be able to stand here today and represent Hamilton. I want to acknowledge those who have helped me along the way. Firstly, thank you to my amazing family, but especially my parents. Lorraine and Graham, who raised me with a strong moral compass and gave me the strength to get through anything. I love you both so much. Thank you to my mentors, former MP Martin Gallagher and Dr. Gaurav Sharma, who have given me guidance, courage and confidence, but most of all shown me the type of leader I want to be, one who always puts the people first. I also want to thank my amazing campaign team, especially Julie and Emma who are here today, but my whole team who have helped me in this journey, without whom this would not be possible. But most of all, I want to thank the people of Kirikiriroa who have put their faith in me and voted me in. I hope to do you proud. I want to congratulate the other councillors and Mayor Paula on your elections and re-elections. I am looking forward to working with you and creating a fantastic team in a bright and prosperous Hamilton. Thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
But it is now my pleasure to welcome up Keshri Rowe.
I, Kesh Naidu-Rofe, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City, the powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Kia ora, assalamu alaikum, vanakkam, namaste, and good morning to you all. I'm honored and privileged to be standing here as a second-term elected official. At my first swearing-in ceremony 3 years ago, I spoke about it being a historic moment for my family, my forefathers, my children, nephews and nieces, my future family. I had since learned that I was the first South African-born elected member for Hamilton, which may not mean much to you, but allow me to put this in perspective. My ancestors, my Indian forefathers, boarded ships 150 odd years ago and were taken to South Africa as indentured laborers. 4 generations of struggle and hardship, and my parents, both school teachers, were the first in our family allowed to and able to own their first home. I was born in the apartheid era and raised during political turmoil in a country where people were judged and treated according to their skin color. And I stand before you today in our new home country of New Zealand, Aotearoa, as a person of equal value to everyone in this space. And I'm just a good person wanting to help and make a positive contribution to our city. I stand here not as a young brown woman playing the victim, but as a good person who stands up for what is right and represents everyone. I believe we need to confront challenges head on, to share and learn from our diversity of thought, to bring people together and to move forward together. And as Chair of Community and Environment, thank you, Paula, and it is the best portfolio, Ange, I will do my best to ensure just that. Look, it's not easy being a working councillor running for re-election. It's tough, and there are people I need to acknowledge and thank today. First, my community, my supporters, for trusting me and allowing me another opportunity to continue this work. My support network, who I can call on at any time, Freedom of City holder and former City Councillor Mr. Peter Boss, former Deputy Mayor Pippa Mahood, former City Councillor, ex-Chair of Community Mark Bunting. Thank you for taking my calls and messages at all times of the day. City stakeholders, community leaders, the movers and shakers of our city who always have time for me. To name only a few, Ravinda Power, the Piso family, Auntie B, Shannon, Charlotte Chuen, and Shannon Hasseltine, my friend. Thank you to my pharmacy work family who support my little family and I every day. Thank you. My family, my village, my growing village who are adding to Hamilton's growth numbers. My parents who have recently moved to Hamilton after 22 years in Auckland. Your support has changed our lives. My sister Lee, Ash, and their kids, my brother Kayan and his new wifey Arishma, my cousin Tash, Donovan, and their kids who recently moved from South Africa. To my in-laws, my parents-in-law, one of my biggest supporters, my father-in-law, who couldn't be here today due to health reasons. My brother-in-law, Sham, Tabs, and your kids. There are no words to thank you for your support and your help. It really does take a village, especially when you have a really young family, and we are so blessed to have you. Thank you. And to my husband, Shazil, our children, Zayden, who's now 7, Ira, who's almost 2. I don't think either of us knew just what we were getting into 3 years ago. Parenting control has definitely shifted to you, Shaz, and you have embraced it like a champ. I know I get too busy to say this as often as I should. You are always appreciated. Where are you? You are always appreciated. And I'm always grateful for everything you do for our children and for myself. It is because of you that I can be me, so thank you. I am so ready and I'm so excited for this next chapter of growth, learning, and leading. People say that it's not a job if you love what you do. And I can certainly say that helping others thrive and prosper, it's what makes me happy. And I'm so humbled and grateful that I get to do this. Thank you.
To welcome the second elected Māori councillor, Moko Tauriki.
Ako tēnei tahi anō ngā kupu mōku e te tuatahi. Wano ki a tātou, kia koutou tahi anō i ngā mana whenua. Ako koutou tēnā tahi anō ngā kaitiaki. O tēnei takiwa o tātou, te kōpū mānia o kirikiri roa marae. E tika tahi aki ana ki tēnei ngā kupu mōku, ki te whakanui, ki te whakahonore, ki te tukumihia tiki a koutou katoa. Koutou tahi anō no Tamai Nupo, Ngāti Koroki Kahukura, Ngāti Mahanga, Ngāti Wairere, Ngāti Haua. Nōku tahi anō te honore, kia koe te tumuaki, a kua tatu mai niki ana ki mua anō i ahau, ia tātou katoa anō te marea, nō reira he mihi ka tika ana ki a koe te tumuaki e hone. Anō ki a tātou katoa, kua tatu mai niki ana ki raro anō i te, ki mua anō i te aroaro e tēnei mara i a tātou. I runga i tēnei whenua o tātou, nō nei nā ngā mana whenua o tēnei takiwa a tātou. Nō reira tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. Ko hurutia aki ana i ngā mātua, o tātou nā mātua tupuna. I raro tahi anō i te kōnui o te Pākehā. Ko riro tahi aki ana i tōku nei whenua, huki. Kia rātou tahi anō, ki raro anō i te kōnui a te Pākehā. Wheoi, kei kone ki tonu ana e tātou a ngai Māori, e tū matakuru ana, e tū karangata nei e. Koina tahi anō i ngō tātou nā mana Māori motu haketanga, kouau tēnā. Kia ora tātou. I've acknowledged our manu whenua over here, all 5 of them, and it's appropriate that I do that, because I am them, they are me. My success is their success. I am a result, I am a benefactor of the investment that they have made in me. Some of them, many of them are sitting over here, and they're not all just mana whenua, we have our mātā waka too. And some of you are sitting in there. If you don't know who I am, you Google Moko Tauriki and you will find out. I am Googleable. But what you will find out about me is that I am about modeling and leading what a good Te Tiriti partnership should look like. That's what I am about. I am about helping, and supporting those people that fail to understand what the tiriti is about, I can help in that space. I am about creating an opportunity for equity as a te tiriti partner between Māori and non-Māori to exist. That's what I'm about, whānau. For 182 years, my whānau over here have been bystanders and watching what happens in that building across the road. I think it's that one over there. And so on this day, I swear an oati, or an oath. Thank God it's not to King Charles III, we would have had a problem. But I do swear an oath to be respectful, to do the best that I can to serve the whānau of Kirikiriroa. Kia ora tātou. I want to thank, I still call her my boss, Te Urukore. She watched the live of mine, whānau, and she said, Moko Tawariki, you will not do any more of those again. She brought on her team of samurai. Won't call them ninjas, they're samurai. Even though they had a full-time job that they had to do, and I know how hard it is to do that, mate, they stepped up and they helped me with my campaign, and I'm very grateful. And I'm very grateful for our mana whenua and our mātā waka making their spaces available for Moko Tawariki to show his ugly mug in some of their spaces. I'm very grateful for all of that. I'm very grateful for my te tiriti whānau, for my non-Māori whānau, for my Pākehā colleagues, my mātā waka colleagues, for the Rainbow Nation, for the Green Nation, for our people with disabilities who have all supported me along on my campaign. We hear these words of co-management and co-governance, and I am a believer that they don't need to sit exclusively with just Māori. There are ways in how we can actually create some of these opportunities for people whose voices don't typically be heard in some of these spaces like councils. And so whānau, I want to, just to my own whānau over here, hey, I just need to say this publicly so that there's witnesses to what I'm about to say. But I know what the expectations are, whānau. I know how brutal you can be in our tribal forums. I'm not going to get everything right here, but I will damn well try. So please, can we just save the crucifixions in public forums for our own forums, please? There you can deal to me and Malena, but yeah, please, just not in front of everybody else. Kia ora. And even the poke eyes, please, if we can, just a little tone down at the poke eyes even. But, I, just to my fellow council people, colleagues, we have some very diverse backgrounds. I'm very excited. I got to listen to some of you, and I enjoyed you. I enjoyed what you had to say. Some of what I thought people were saying about you, that's not what I saw. I'm very heartened by some of the speeches that I've heard so far and the reo within which you have done it. I'm very grateful. So nō reira, kia ora tātou katoa. Ko aua Moko Tawariki ko tāku kupu tēnei. Ka tutuki i āhau, ki tāku e pono nei ngā kawenga katoa. Hei paenga mo te taone o Kirikiriroa, i runga i te mana ko riro mai i āhau, mai hei mema o te kaunihera o Kirikiriroa, i raro i te ture kāwanatanga ārohe, rua mano mārua, te ture pārongo, Winga o kawa, kāwanatanga ārohe, ko tahi mano i warau, waru tukau māwhitu, me e tehi atu ture rāne. I, Moko Tawariki, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in me or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002 and the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 and any other act. Kia ora tātou.
It now gives me pleasure to invite up Sarah Lorraine Thompson.
I, Sarah Thompson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Kia ora koutou. I'm going to be really brief because I don't know about the rest of you, but it's freezing over there, and I hope those of us at the front are doing a good job of blocking some of that wind for you. 3 years ago, firstly actually, I do want to acknowledge Mana Whenua, thank you, and also thank you Tame for your words this morning, and acknowledge Mayor Paula and our Deputy Mayor Angela O'Leary. I'm really excited to see you lead this council this term. 3 years ago, I said something about this being one of the best jobs in the world and that I was privileged to be in that position. And 3 years later, I can say hand on heart that I feel even more strongly that this is one of the best jobs in the world, and it is an absolute privilege to be back. Campaigning, as everyone said, is tiring and hard for everyone involved, and to hear that I have the trust of the residents in Hamilton West and our wider city again is a real honour. I want to really quickly thank my parents and my husband Lloyd and Leo. They've been an amazing support throughout this 3 years and have made it possible to be here. A special thank you to Leo, who has taught me so much more about the city than I ever would have learned. I've been to the libraries, to the zoo. We've ridden the bus for no reason other than to ride the bus. Many times, and whenever we're out in the city, I guess I can never fully turn off councillor mode, and I'm always making a note, we really need another bus stop outside Peaches and Cream. And I guess I say that because throughout this whole time, there's so many challenges ahead of us: climate change, housing affordability, the growth that we see coming towards our city, and I'm really excited to be able to take on those challenges. But also, there are all the little problems that we see every day, and those excite me just as much. And I can't wait to get back into work, as you all know. And so I'd just like to say thank you again, and I'm really looking forward to this term. Kia ora.
It's now my pleasure to invite up Maxine Van Oosten.
I, Maxine Van Oosten, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Hamilton City the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Information, Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. success. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa, ko Maxine Van Ooston, taku ingoa. It's been a real honour to serve as a councillor these last 3 years, and I'm very grateful to have earned another term to build on the progress that we've made together. Thank you, Hamilton East residents and Kirikiriroa in the wider sense, for your confidence in me. Being elected is never the work of the candidate alone. And I have a team to thank for that help and effort. It's a collective one. And some of you are in the meeting today. Thank you very much. Of course, then there's the home front. My husband of 40 years, Andrew. My dad, my mother-in-law, sisters, children, and my mokopuna. Thank you. Look, welcome to the newly elected councillors, some of who I've had the real pleasure of supporting through the campaign, and we already have so much in common that I know I will really enjoy that further support to you and to work alongside of you. I'm particularly proud of Council's decision to introduce the Kirikiriroa Māori seats. I'm really excited at what I can learn from you, Moko, and Marlena in this term, and I welcome the contribution that you will make. Congratulations to re-elected members also. Your skill, talents and experience are really going to be needed to knit together a great team for the next 3 years. We've got some challenges to overcome, and I campaigned on a healthy city banner, and I know that through the committee roles that I've been asked to take on, I'm well placed to contribute positively to that vision. Yes, we have significant challenges ahead, but from them we will have great opportunities that we can all work collectively to achieve. Nā ko te roro, no te roro, ka ora ai te iwi. With your basket and my basket, the people will thrive. Nō reira. Kia ora.
And this happens every time Maxine goes after me. It's now my great pleasure to welcome the last but not least, Ewan Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I've made a couple of mistakes already. I've left my jacket and my glasses somewhere, and so I'm borrowing Mark Donovan's glasses. So this could go either really well or really badly. But I am reminded recently an MC described him as the sexiest man in local government, so I'm wondering if it may rub off a little bit. I, Ewan Wilson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skills and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Hamilton City the powers, the authorities and duties vested in me or imposed upon me as a member of the Hamilton City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. So, Councillor Ryan, I'm about to show you what brevity actually means. Look, I was elected in 2001 for the first time, and can I say it It is an absolute privilege to be back here again into my 6th term. It is an absolute honour to serve the people of Hamilton. It is, as a lot of you have heard already, an amazing job. And I look forward to working with the rest of my elected members in serving the great city of Hamilton. Look, I do want to shout out to my wife, Monique, my best friend for 36 years. She said, look, 6 elections, this probably should be the last. It's getting a little tiring, this election campaigning stuff. But I really appreciate your love and your support. Morag, my sister, and her husband, Tim, you're always there putting out the flyers and putting up the election signs. Thank you. To my mentor, Martin Gallagher, and to Dave McPherson, you have taught me a great deal. And I have enjoyed your friendship and support, and you have helped me, I think, become a much better contributing member of council. So I'm going to leave it at that, other than to say thank you, and thank you to the Hamilton West voters who keep letting me come back to do this job. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone, and what beautiful words were spoken this afternoon. That brings us to the end of the speeches, and you can now, please invite you to stand up and join with us in singing the national anthem.
E hoa atua o ngā iwi mataura a ta whakarongona me aroha noa ki ahua ko te pai ki a tautoa whai mana ki tia mai a o te aroa. God of nations at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God defend our free land. God Pacific's triple star, from the shafts of strife and war, make her praises heard afar. God defend New Zealand.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the formal part of the ceremony, and I will call and you're, of course, as you know, invited to the Gallagher Hub to join us for refreshments. I will invite Tame to formally close the meeting.
Kia ora everybody. One of my mentors, the late Dr. Hare Puke, he would delegate and tell, Tame, you go and do this. All I did is did what I was told by a senior kaumātua. Today, Dr. Hare Puke has come out in me, and I'm going to call Sani Karena to come and close our meeting, then we'll head across for Samitungi.
Ngā mihi kia tātu katoa. Hoi anō rā, tīmatarawa mai I roto I tātua, katahi ka tika, kia whakakapi anō hoki I roto I tōna nei wairua tapu. Kia tau, kia tātu katoa. Te atawhai ato tātou ariki I Hukraiti. Me te aroha o tātua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu. Ake, ake, ake. Āmine.